Hey, it's Ryan from the Carb Situation. Remember, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not a trainer. I'm just a human guinea pig who likes to read a lot and willing to experiment. If you go on the journey with me, maybe you'll learn what I learned. Oh yeah, and I curse a lot. Let's do this. Hey guys, it's Ryan from the Carb Situation. Back for another weekly checkup. It is the end of week 2, the beginning of week 3. It's March 31st, 2019. Now I wanted to start this check-in with a little bit of information. It occurred to me that many of you don't know me, so it's not like you know my schedule or what the hell I do for life. So here's a quick rundown. I work half the time in Texas, but I live in Colorado. So that other half of the time I'm working from home on my computer, things like this. The times that I'm not in Texas or working at home, I like to travel for pleasure, vacation. I like to see the world as best I can. So the point is, my schedule gets pretty fucked up and I can't exercise when and where I want to. I can't use a predictable diet like I would like. I have the same challenges that a lot of you may have in that it's not always easy to have your meals planned out and take them with you and all this stuff. And that's going to be more important later when I switch back to a low-carb diet and start trying to lose my weight. But it occurred to me that you may assume that I go to a 9-to-5 job, and that's not true. I have a really crazy schedule. I don't know when I'm going to have a plane delay, or I'm going to be late to a hotel, or I got to wake up early to get somewhere, or this week is a 5-day travel, this week is a 3-day travel. So it's pretty crazy, but that's my life. So that might give you a little more context as to how my schedule is so crazy. So I wanted to drop that in there. So let's talk about the last week. I finished up the week in Las Vegas on vacation for my birthday. We ate tons of great food, tasty food, I should say. Got fucked up, played some poker, watched a bunch of basketball, and got some pool time in. Had a blast, no complaints. It was a great vacation, so that was nice. As soon as I got back from Vegas, I turned around and went to Texas for work. I was down there for a few days, and the last 2 days I've been back home here in Colorado. So I finally got to go grocery shopping. It's basically the first time I've had any extended time at home in the last 3 weeks. So it's been kind of crazy, but I went and bought groceries. So I'll probably be eating out less, some, but less. I even took a picture of all the groceries that I bought. It was kind of a crazy trip for me because I don't usually buy the stuff that I bought, but it was entertaining. So now I have a pantry, like a lot of people. It has a bunch of junk food in it and different stuff. But that's what I've been up to over the last week. So let's talk about results. Last week, I was 201.8 pounds, and today I was 205.2 pounds. So I gained about 3.5 pounds over the last week. My body fat was 25.8% last week, and today it is 26.6%. So I gained 0.8% body fat, which is substantial. The numbers are kind of on par for what I expected to gain after eating like shit. I'm right on schedule for gaining weight and body fat. So this past week, I've really started to feel the effects of the diet on my energy. My sleep has gone to shit. I usually still go to sleep pretty easily, but I'm tossing and turning, not getting deep sleep. My quality has gone down, and I just don't feel like getting out of bed in the morning. And I've been really tired and back to that afternoon nap stage where after you eat lunch, you just feel like you're going to doze off for a few hours. All of that is back. I used to feel that, and then on a low-carb diet, I don't. And now that's all back, and it's been hard to adjust to get shit done whenever I'm really tired all the time. But that's something I expected. So next I want to talk about a couple of minor health issues that have been plaguing me since I switched diets. They're expected. I actually figured they would happen, but let me give you a little bit of backstory. So the first one is acid reflux. I've had acid reflux problems for a long time since I have no gallbladder, and it got really bad about a year and a half ago. I was eating what I've always eaten, and I was working out, and this acid was just getting worse and worse. So I went to the doctor, assuming that I had some kind of a problem, and he said, well, before we do a scope and all that, let's put you on Prilosec, which is omeprazole, twice a day for a month, and let's see what happens. So I did that, and it actually solved the problem. So I didn't have the acid issue for about a month, and I thought, okay, that's great. Let's back off it a little bit. And I went down to one a day, and then I think one every other day, and it came back. So I had the acid problems again, and the next step was to call the doctor so we could do a scope and we could check out all kinds of things. And I started putting that off, and I just went back to taking the omeprazole every day. Then a few months went by, and coincidentally, that's when I read the book, Why We Get Fat and What to Do About It, and decided to change my diet. And once I changed my diet, I thought to myself, hey, the acid has reduced what little there is. Let me get off of the Prilosec and see what happens. So I ditched the Prilosec, and I have no acid problems on a low-carb diet. So that was a very welcome result from switching my diet. Now, I tell you all that to tell you that I expected to have acid problems when I changed my diet back to high carbohydrate rich diet. So about a week before I started eating all the junk, I started taking the Prilosec or omeprazole once a day, and have been taking it ever since. So the acid hasn't been too much of a problem. There have been 2 or 3 instances where I ate late and ate some really rich foods. It usually happens with like pasta or Mexican food, and also drank a lot, and then, go to sleep. And when that combination happens, it really doesn't matter how much Prilosec I've been taking. I've had a couple of acid issues in the middle of the night where I wake up actually choking on stomach acid. It's really horrible. You're welcome for the visual. And that's a result of what I'm putting in my face. So I expected this to happen. The omeprazole does pretty much keep most of the acid problems at bay. But when I go back to my low-carb diet, I can ditch the Prilosec and all will be well again. The second medical or health issue that I wanted to address was constipation. So, very exciting subject, I know, but I've had chronic constipation issues pretty much my whole life. It's just something I've learned to live with, and I started taking a supplement called MAG07, probably about a year ago, right after I did a green smoothie cleanse, which I used to recommend the green smoothie cleanse, but I don't anymore because I have a much different diet philosophy. But during that green smoothie cleanse, she recommended taking the MAG07 as a supplement for maintenance. And so I've been taking that for a long time, and that helps a lot with constipation. But when I went to a low-carb diet, my constipation issues completely vanished. And I haven't had to deal with constipation for a long, long time. But I knew that in conjunction with the diet switch, that was going to be a new problem, and it was a much bigger problem than I thought. It was, it was bad and very painful and all those awesome adjectives. So I've had to take a lot of Phillips milk of magnesia, and it's helped. And yeah, it's not fun, and I can't wait to go back to my low carb diet where constipation is no longer an issue. So if that's ever been anything that you've struggled with, you're going to be relieved to find out that usually when you peel the high carbohydrate foods out of your diet, it's going to take care of any constipation issues. So I've been struggling with that over the last couple of weeks, and I expect to do the same for the remainder of this kind of diet. So for the upcoming week, I'm at home for work, working from home on the computer, and I will have much more control over my schedule. So I plan to eat at home a lot more than the fast food that I've been eating. I'll probably eat some fast food still and order a couple pizzas or whatever, but I have things to make sandwiches and potato chips and all of that good, normal stuff that we all usually eat. So that's how my eating is going to change. My calorie intake will probably come down a little bit, but I'm not sure. I'm going to eat lots of ice cream since that's my favorite thing in the whole world. And I'll probably strength train 3 times and probably get 3 bike rides in, about 12 miles each. That's kind of usually my normal schedule when I'm at home. And I expect to probably still gain another 3 or 4 pounds and probably another percentage of body fat, regardless of the exercise. But we're going to see. So that's why we do the check-ins. And the final thing I want to leave you with is a request for comments or suggestions. If you could just comment on this video below and let me know any suggestions you have, mainly about what I'm covering or what I'm not covering. Just let me know, like, hey man, we don't give a shit about that. You can leave that crap out. Or you're not telling us anything about this. I want to know what you need to know. So if I'm missing something that you should be aware of, then I need to cover that in future videos. Or if I'm giving you a bunch of stuff that really doesn't matter, then tell me that and I'll leave it out, because I want to make this as valuable as I can for the viewer. So make sure you hit subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you don't miss an inch of the journey. It's going to be great or horrible, depending on your perspective. Leave me those suggestions so I know how to tailor the videos, and we'll see you next week. Thanks for watching. Cheers.